welcome back to the program, Mohammed.
Hello, how are you, Sam? How are you, everybody? You hear me?
Yes, doing great. Thanks for calling. I'm here with Emma Vigeland, who I think you spoke to last time.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to your show. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mohammed. Good to hear from you.
Hi, Emma. Thank you.
Okay, so Mohammed, we got a couple of questions for you. First off, we want to know how Rafah and your family is doing in Egypt. Just to remind people, I guess it was about a month or so ago, maybe a little bit more. We helped. We had you on. We had talked about the GoFundMe you had set up for your family, who were at that time the majority of them were in Rafah, and some were able to get out to Egypt. How is everybody doing there?
My family is grateful to be safe in Egypt. There are no words to thank you, Sam and Emma, and Majority Report listeners. It's so hard for regular Gazan to escape, from Gaza. We are not famous or wealthy people. My family would not have survived without the continuous support from you guys. Thank you for caring about us and helping us. They now have food and safe place to sleep. The children are able to sleep at night. I just got back from Egypt, where I was trying to help evacuate the rest of the family. It was the first time I was able to hug my family in 5 years. Asaf, my niece, who has Down syndrome, needs medical care now. She's losing a lot of weight and having a serious stomach problem. She needs treatment and maybe surgery. It's going to be very hard for my family to start all over again, building a new life in Egypt, which is why we are still fundraising to support Afaf medical expenses. The family stuck in Gaza and family starting over in Egypt. So they are fine.
Yeah, I'm Mohammed. Can you speak a bit about the family members that are still stuck in Gaza and what's their status?
Yeah, my father and my 21 years old brother Khadr, my 20 years old sister Rina, and my aunt Ibtisam, they fled Rafah when Israel threatened to attack, and now they are in Khan Yunis. They are scared in Khan Yunis. I'm scared for them also. It will be harder for me to give them money also to buy food and supplies there, because now everything is closed, the border is closed.
Do you have a sense of and we have one clip here of, I think, a brief video of where they are near Khan Yunis. It's just a couple of seconds long, but people can get a sense of where they're living now. Here, play this clip. Go ahead, play this clip for 1 second.
Yeah.
It's more or less a makeshift tent with some what look like UNICEF tarps. Do you know? I mean, how often are you in touch with your brother and your father outside of Khan Yunis?
It's really difficult to reach them because there is no connection in Khan Yunis. There is no internet. I'm trying since the border closed, I just reached them one time, talking to them. There is no internet there, and it's very hard to use SIM card, to get internet in a specific place in next to the sea, because they are close to the sea in the street now in Khan Yunis. And in Khan Yunis, the whole Khan Yunis is destroyed. There is no connection like Rafah. And it's hard to reach them or to contact any one of them.
And how did they get up to Khan Yunis? Because I know that they were in Rafah, but there's been, I guess, about almost 400,000 people who have had to flee Rafah. How did they get to Khan Yunis? Are they walking? Is there any fuel?
My family received the paper from the dropped on their camp in Rafah, and the message said to leave, but no one know where to leave. It's not a clear message to leave to save a place. There is no safe place to go, and they are like trying to pay someone with a cart and a donkey to help them to move from Rafah and their things to Khan Yunis.
So they went by donkey and cart.
Yeah, donkey and cart.
And what do you have a sense of when was the last time that you had contacted them? I guess that was when they were heading out from Rafah, or do you have a sense of what their water situation is, what their food situation is? I mean, it's one thing to be able to to pay for a donkey and a cart, but if there's no food or water getting in, what are they doing for that?
Yeah, it's very terrible. It's been 7 days since the border was closed. There is no water where they are now in Khan Yunis. Everything is destroyed in Khan Yunis. There are no shops to buy anything. They don't know where they will get more food. Everyone is pretty sick, even my father, my brother, but there are doctors and nurses in the camp, and my father was able to get an IV treatment. Everything is expensive, like they can still, some people have like water from the Eid, and they try to sell it for people to get something for food, to buy food or something else, and they have to buy like water from anyone. He get like more Eid to use it for drink or clean themselves, or from the water sea.
From seawater, you're saying?
From the seawater, yeah.
Are people drinking seawater? Is that what you're hearing?
No, just for to clean themselves, but they can still receive water from the Eid, like before the border closed.
Okay. And give me a sense of like what are people. What are people's perspective on the different roles of what's going on there? I mean, like from a perspective of what's happening from America. I mean, is there a sense amongst your family members? Do they have opinions about what America's role is in this? What Biden's role is in this?
Actually, my family members, they don't have a lot of about political or news. They don't really follow it, but a lot of Gazan people, they know they are getting killed by American weapons, and they know that American has blocked many ceasefire votes. Everyone doesn't like what Biden did. He does a lot of evil things to Palestinian. He doesn't see us like humans, and he's okay with us dying. Gaza now that there are a lot of Americans trying to stop this genocide, and they know that there's a lot of people from America supporting them and standing with them for their rights.
The student protests, Mohammed, what's your message, or what do they have any message for those student protesters?
Actually, the student protesters have given some people a new hope to know that they have not been forgotten after 8 months of this genocide. It's make them feel like their lives is matter. But people are very, very tired with closed borders. It's become much more dangerous, because no eyes coming in, and they cannot get any food or any stuff to eat, and everything is dangerous, no safe place. But we really appreciate what the students doing from protesters and supporting Palestine and trying to speak out for our freedom and to make ceasefire to stop this killing and to end this genocide.
Is it your sense that, you know, your family living in Gaza, do they have some type of vision for, you know, what happens next, or is it just simply they just want to not be you know, attacked and bombs falling?
In Gaza, no one knows what's gonna happen. Everyone is just wondering when you will die. If you just wake up in the next day, you thanks God you are still alive, because nowhere is safe to go. Like, everyone is scared from like getting killed or from the bombs, from the airstrike. No one know about the situation. It's gonna be ceasefire or it's gonna end soon or not.
And Mohammed, are you in touch with anyone else in Gaza, in like a different part of Gaza, anywhere? Have you heard word about anything that's happening in the north?
In the north, actually, I don't have contact with people there because it's also hard to get internet there, just like the famous people to try to make videos about what's going on, and you cannot reach them. But I have still another family, my cousin, everyone is still in Rafah and Khan Yunis also. I have big members family, like my cousin, my niece, another families, and I have still contact with them. I try sometimes, if I don't reach my father or my brother or sister, I call someone in Rafah and try to let him call them in Khan Yunis to like tell me how is situation with them, they are fine or not, what's going on.
What is the latest you've heard from Rafah?
The Rafah, it's every day like bombing, every day like the tanks coming close to the area with the public area next to the civilians people. And the Rafah borders, it's completely controlled by the IDF. No one can go close to the Rafah borders. And people like trying, even the people from Rafah trying to move to go to the north to Khan Yunis.
And you mentioned Afaf, your niece, needing surgery. Can potentially, or her having some health issues. Can you speak about what else your family needs in this very horrible time?
But also my mother, she's sick and she gets problem in her back.
Sorry,
yeah.
Go on.
Also my mother is sick and she needs also. She has surgery for her back. I cannot tell you exactly what that means and what problem she has, but I have the report from the doctor. I can share it with you later.
Okay. Well, Mohammed, is there anything else that you think that we should know at this point? I mean, we're gonna. I think we're gonna play the video that you forwarded us from your mother and Afaf and the rest who are in Egypt, just to show people. But is there anything else that you think we should know at this point?
I want to thank everyone to support us and standing with us, and we are grateful to have you and support us and standing with us in this difficult time to make us like feeling safe and try to save my family. Thank you so much from the deep of my heart. For you and for Ima, for everyone, majority reports listener, for everyone who's donate for my family. We really appreciate it and thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing with us, Mohammed, and
Thank you.
You know, obviously really heartbroken that you're all going through this, but thanks for giving us an update.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mohammed.
All right, let's play this this video. It just came in this morning. This is from Egypt. I don't know. I think it's in the past day or two. But this is Mohammed's family. That's his mother and his niece Afaf, and I'm not sure of the others, but their names. But this is their video, and we have it subtitled.
شكرا لدعمكم وتبرعكم منا بكتر ألف خيركم. احنا بفضلكم موجودين حاليا متواجدين في مصر، انا واطفالي الاربعه وزوجي وامي واخويا. مع الاسف اخي خضر وابي واختي رينا ومرت ابي ابتسام لم تتواجد معنا بسبب تاخر كشوفات شركه هلا، وبسبب اليهود اجتاحوا المعبر ولم ياتوا. وحاليا هم موجودين 4 افراد موجودين في رفح. ما بنسى فرحه فوفا اللي هي عفاف وابني حسن، فرحتهم بجمعتهم بابوهم. بشكركم من اعماق قلبي، وان شاء الله الفرحه بتكمل بوجود بابا واخويا خضر واختي رينا ومرت بابا ابتسام. ان شاء الله الله يجمعنا على خير. ونتمنى منكم بس طلب واحد صغير، انه انتم تضلوا داعميننا معطينا طاقه انه احنا نكون حياه جميله ونعيش مستقبل افضل من اللي احنا فيه. شكرا لكم كثير.
بشكركم شكر جزيل الشكر والاحترام لكم على طلعتنا وجايتنا من غزة على مصر. احنا موجودين هذيك في مصر، فيكم يا رب بميزان حسناتكم وعلى راسي، وألف بعيد وبكرر بقول شكرا لكم فردا فردا.
شكرا خليكم معنا طولنا ألف بحبكم.
That's great. Cute kids.
Yes.
Folks, we're going to put the link to the GoFundMe in the podcast and YouTube descriptions and at majority.fm. There are some things that we can't really ask or talk to Mohammed about because there's precariousness on both sides of that border, right. That I think it doesn't take a lot of imagination necessarily to figure out.
Right.
And so, the last thing we want to do is create more potential danger on either side, frankly. So there are some questions that, were Mohammed a correspondent on some level, I would ask, and that both in terms of like what's happening internally in Gaza and also like what it takes to get across the border and what's happening in Egypt.
Yep.
But
what happens to the people who aren't counted as casualties? They have stomach problems and things like that after being marched around and
starved. I mean,
Yeah.
the health effects of starvation and dehydration at this magnitude. It can't be overstated. It will be with these people for the rest of their lives, for the most part.
Isn't really stated. Isn't really part of like CNN or Morning Joe.
No.
They'll just, do arithmetic, try to get the numbers down.
Let alone just the trauma of having to leave the home that you knew your whole life.
Everyone you knew.
That's just essentially taken for granted. It's called voluntary migration. It's called displacement. But like when you talk and speak about like a human family, a whole family uprooted from where they grew up, that's traumatizing in and of itself.
Yeah, so you can continue to help their family. We'll keep that GoFundMe link up in the description for the next couple of days. Anything you can spare, obviously, they're going to greatly appreciate. And hopefully there'll be an opportunity soon to reunite the family. In the meantime, Afaf in particular, I think has some fairly pressing medical needs that are, Down syndrome creates different sort of baseline challenges for health,
Right.
and particularly exacerbated, obviously, not just by the stress, but the actual sort of like deprivation. So anything you can do is appreciated, obviously. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.